Hi guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make homemade bara for doubles. I'm not saying this is any authentic recipe or anything. This is just my way of doing it. I've only done this a few times, so I'm not a professional doubles maker, but this is just an easy way to do it, and I haven't seen many recipes out there for it, so I figured I would share it with you. Again, this is not an authentic one, so let's go ahead and get started. In this bowl, I have 1 cup of warm water, and to that I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of sugar, granulated sugar, and then 1 packet of yeast. I will have everything listed below on the amounts exactly. And in this bowl I have 2 1/4 cups of flour. Into that I've added some jeera. I'm also going to add some saffron powder or turmeric, a pinch of salt, some black pepper as well. You're also going to need 1/4 teaspoon of curry powder. I will have everything listed below, so don't worry about all the amounts. And you're also going to need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to mix all those dry ingredients together, and then we're going to add in about 1/2 tablespoon of oil to the mix. So we're going to go ahead and add those. I'll mix up all the dry and then add the oil, and then we're going to just mix that well, and then we're going to get back to our yeast and water, which is now activated. We're going to go ahead and add this water to our mixture of flour, and we're going to mix this up. Now this is going to be a sticky kind of dough. It's not going to be like really nice, and we don't have to knead this really long or anything, but it is going to be a little bit sticky. So we're just going to mix this up with our spoon, and then we're going to switch to our hands. And we're going to knead this for about maybe 2 minutes or so. It really doesn't need a lot of time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put about 1/2 tablespoon of oil on the top to coat, as you'll see I will be doing just now. And I'm going to cover this. I'm going to mix that dough in that oil because I want the whole thing to be coated with the oil, as well as I want to knead it for about a minute with the oil. You also want to make sure that your bowl is really nice and oiled. I know I'm going to say oil about 50 times in this recipe because there is a lot of oil. So as I kneaded that for about a minute with the oil, my bowl is nice and well oiled, and we're going to cover that with plastic wrap and let it rise. As you can see, it's risen there. I have a metal bowl with some parchment paper and some napkins. We're going to put it in when it's done in there, and a plate with some vegetable oil. What we're going to do is oil our hands, and we're going to flatten this down a bit. We don't want to deflate it completely, but we do want to flatten it out and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes after it's been flattened out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take about 1 tablespoon pieces of each and roll it into little balls. You're going to put these balls on your oiled plate so that when you're ready to make another one, you have the balls already made, so you don't just waste time, if you understand what I'm saying. But what I did was I take about 1 tablespoon and I flatten it out with my hand. I kind of made it into a ball at first, and then I just flatten it out with my fingers, making sure everything is as even as possible. And then I take it out of my hands and making sure there's no excess like thick pieces anywhere, because we don't want too thick on one side and too thin on the other. So try to make it as even as possible. If there's any holes, it's perfectly fine. And plop it into your oil, which is on medium-high heat. You want to do one at a time for this because I find that it works best that way, and you get like a really nice bara that way. Now, keep in mind that did take a very short time to cook. I only put it in the oil for about 5 to 6 seconds. I'm just showing you again here how I did it. I flatten it out, make sure everything's nice and even. And if there's any holes, again, don't worry about that. But this is going to only cook for about 5 to 6 seconds. As soon as it goes into that hot oil, it's going to plop up. You're just going to turn it around, cook it for about 5 to 6 seconds, put it in your bowl with your napkins and parchment paper, and have it covered so it stays nice and warm. And that's it, guys. That's how I make my bara. I will be putting everything in the description box below of exactly how much I use and exactly what I did. But that's it. It's really not that difficult. It's a little bit time consuming to do the whole thing. I will be sharing later on the recipe for the chana part, and as well the cucumber chutney and the tamarind chutney. I hope that you guys enjoy. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.